Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Brianna Lentz of Educating Wildflowers, episode number 3 of my podcast. Today is Sunday, June 20th. It is also Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, all you guardians out there, all of you father-like figures out there, all the guys out there who are stepping up for the children in their life, whether or not the kids out there know you are not biologically their father. Good for you. Keep up the good fight, even if they're fighting you. They want you there. They love you. Happy Father's Day to my husband, Jason. He's a wonderful father. My girls are so blessed to have him as, let me mess that up a little bit more. My girls are so blessed to have him as their father. He's just wonderful. He is a wonderful, just a wonderful guy to know. He is an excellent example of what a man should be and the type of man they should look for in their future husband. Not a lot of what we see today is an example of lack of fatherly figures in kids' lives. And my children are so blessed to not have to have that in their life. They have an excellent fatherly figure and a man who will always be there for them and will always show them how much he loves them and will never hesitate to show them their value. And will never hesitate to teach them easy and hard lessons. So, we are blessed to have him. Happy Father's Day, Jason. All right, so today I am wearing a shirt. It says Grow Your Mind. It is adorable. I made it myself. If you were just listening, it says Grow Your Mind in some cute fancy lettering, and then underneath it has a book, and flowers are coming out of the book, and it's super cute, and it goes with the Educating Wildflowers theme. And it's fun. I actually made this before Educating Wildflowers even existed as a concept. I just really like it. And so the girls have a shirt like this too. And if you would be interested in some shirts like this, just message me. I love having a Cricut maker. I love being able to make whatever I want. If an idea pops into my head, I can make it, especially when it's like the first shirt I ever made on my Cricut was Conservative is the New Punk. Really, it's like libertarianism or, anything like that is the new punk, but it's fun. But that's a whole nother video right on itself. I keep saying that. I should write these down. I should go back and just write down like make video on this, make podcast around this theme. But yeah, so today is Sunday. So it is my third weekly reflection in this homeschooling process. Today I am recording in our spare bedroom where I have all of my craft stuff behind me. I didn't stop to make it all pretty. This is real life behind me. I've got my yarn and my cross stitch things and everything that you'll probably find over on my other YouTube channel, Brianna Lentz. It's my craft channel and I love it. Transitioning over to the Brianna Lentz channel, and my reflection for the past week is I uploaded a floss tube. A floss tube is basically like where I share my cross stitching that I've done recently, what I'm working on, what I've purchased, my finishes, and then I'll also share like my crochet projects and whatever else. Like it's just a community for people to watch and be inspired by other floss tubers, what they're stitching. So a lot of us cross stitchers cross stitch by ourselves. We don't necessarily have like a friend that we can go over and hang out with who cross stitches. So it's a fun way for people to connect in a craft that we all love. And I love it. I love making them too, because it's super fun to just show up what you're working on and be like, hey, I did this. hope you like it, because I love it. And then it's fun to comment and encourage other people on what they're making. Because I have no crafty friends. Like, I do this all on my own. And the internet has been really cool because I have this Instagram community and I have this YouTube community where we can all show and tell what we're doing and encourage each other. And it's just so much fun. Like, I would still cross stitch and crochet and knit and do these things if it were just me. Because I almost stopped knitting because of the knitting community. If you know, you know, but the knitting community took a huge turn a couple years ago where, you know what, well, that's another video, but if you know, you know, and I'll talk about it later. But yeah, but cross stitch has been really, really supportive, and crochet is my first crafty love. Anyway, so on my floss tube, it was one that I hadn't recorded in like 2 months. Like, it had been 2 months since I had recorded my last floss tube. And so right out of the gates, I'm just like, hey, it's been a while. I'm homeschooling, and so I talk about it and I share this channel. I share Educating Wildflowers and the whole idea. And then I go into my crafts and stuff like that. But in the comments, I had so much support to homeschool. I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't expecting it's not like I wasn't expecting support, because that seems like I'm putting down one of my expectations for the community. I just was sharing it and I didn't expect anything in return from it. It was just like hey, I'm doing this, and I got this outpour of love for what I was doing, and appreciation and support and good job and thank you, and you're gonna love it, and hey, if you need me, I'll be there. And it was just incredible. And it just gave me all the warm and fuzzies. Like, it just is another affirmation of like what I was discussing last week, where it's like we're doing what we should be doing. And as Christians and as good human beings, we should be leading by example. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe, I guess people see that. And I'm happy to be stepping out and sharing this. Like I talked about last week, like there's usually been so much rejection every time I put myself out there. And again, I didn't get rejected. I got a high five, and it's like, yes, yes, it feels good. So, doing these weekly vlogs, not these weekly vlogs, these weekly reflections are super cool because I get to capitalize on these emotions and share them. And maybe a year from now, seeing where I was today from a year from now would be kind of cool to look back on. And anyway, so there was a bunch of people who shared that they were homeschooling, or that their kids are homeschooling and they're so proud of their kids to homeschool, and they're supportive. They're like, you're going to do a great job. And it brings me to this idea where, on this podcast, it's my reflection, but I'm going to be on a level where I stream this on audio services, right? So I want to have the ability to interview other people who are homeschooling, who did homeschool, who are looking to homeschool. If they have thought about it, decided not to, why? I would love to have that conversation. I want to have the conversation between homeschooling parents in different states. Like, I'm in Oklahoma. We chose to move to Oklahoma because we have some of the most relaxed homeschooling laws in the country. And then there's other places where they're super, they have like different levels of ways you can homeschool, but they're still super dictated by the state. Some make sure that you have like a teaching certificate. Some states will make sure you have a teaching certificate in order to be able to teach your own children. Some don't. Some require you to still take your state tests. Some don't. Some require you to have absence and record sheets to submit at any point in time that the school district or superintendent says, I want these. And so it's, I would love to, honestly, okay, now that I'm talking about it, I would love to be able to interview somebody or one or more people from each of the 50 states. And I would love to know what their homeschool regulations are from their personal experiences in each of those 50 states. And I would love to also interview multiple people from Oklahoma, especially different regions of Oklahoma, because like Oklahoma specifically, I live in southeastern Oklahoma. I started my co-op because there is no co-op here in southeastern Oklahoma. So when we have our first Educating Wildflowers co-op meeting on July 21st at the McAllister Library, I will really get a sense of, is there a need for a co-op here? Do most of the people still do EPIC? Do they know that you can do other types of homeschooling? Because EPIC is just public education. It's just accredited online. And so that has given the homeschool name in the area a really bad name, because if a parent says they're going to homeschool their kid, usually it just means that they're taking their kid out of school, they're going to put him in EPIC, and they end up having to repeat the grade. One, because the school district says they don't have enough attendance to prove that they took the grade, so they want the funding for the grade that they missed. If they come back into the public education system, they will not test them to see if they can pass to the next grade. It is all about attendance. I know that from firsthand. Number two is it's public education, online, EPIC, but there's nothing that goes on. Their parents don't do anything to encourage the kids to do anything. I don't know. I don't know enough about that. All I know is from hearsay about the school, which again is publicly funded. And that's from one small area. So I would love to know. I'd love to know from people who have done EPIC, who've gone into this other thing from this. It would just be so interesting, because I really would like to, as Educating Wildflowers, go to Homeschool Oklahoma, be part of, known for a co-op in this region. But circling back is, I will also know in the near future if there is a need for a co-op out here, because I have this idea that I would like one, right? Like, I don't need it necessarily for academic purposes, but I would like it for a community, for my kids, for field trips, for socialization, because they have more than enough socialization, but it'd be cool for like my kids to meet other homeschooling kids. And I think it'd be cool, like, especially being so rural, to keep that rural community in a different way, because that was one of the cool things about the school we went to, was that it was such a rural community. I keep holding up my cup because I wanted to share this with you. It says leftist tears, and then on the bottom it says hot or cold. This is from the Daily Wire. We subscribe to the Daily Wire for like an annual subscription. And then in the mail, we got this, and I love it. I would sit in the hallway, or I would stand in the hallway at the school I was working at last year, and I would just have this out there. And it was hilarious, because I didn't ask if I could, because it's politically driven, right? But it was more of like, it was definitely more of our similar thought process of school, And the comments I would get on it were usually so supportive, because they thought it was hilarious. And it was very much a me thing to have this kind of a cup. Anyway, so I'm drinking my coffee with it, but I would love to know more about Oklahoma and other people who homeschool in Oklahoma. And then I would also love to, like I said, interview somebody from all 50 states. So if you're listening right now and you'd be interested in being on my podcast, leave your information down below in some way. You can email me at educatingwildflowers@gmail.com, and let's have a conversation, because I think that'd be so awesome to really get an idea of what is homeschooling like across the United States, right? Because it is so different in every state, as a state should be able to dictate what it wants in its own laws. It's still so interesting because it is so different. Like, before we left Colorado, homeschool laws was one of the major things we looked at before we chose the state that we finally left and moved to. And homeschooling was a huge reason why we chose Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is still one of the freest states in the United States. And a ton of people are moving here because I think a ton of people are realizing, holy cow, Oklahoma is on the map for really putting up the good fight. And number two is that we have a lot of Native American resources, that if you realize you have the ability to prove you have Native American lineage, and you can prove it, and you can get certain benefits, then people are also moving to different territories where they can get those Native American benefits. That's just a fact. Just a fact. So very, very interesting. Oklahoma is unlike any other state I've lived in or been to. It is its own little world. I mean, it really is. It's pretty cool. So yeah, again, I would love to hear from you guys, what your homeschooling journey has been like, what your regulations are, what you do, what you have to keep up with, all the way through 8th grade, and then through high school diploma, high school credits. I would really love to find out more information on each of the 50 states. So please, again, if you would like to get into contact with me, I would love to have you on the podcast and we will figure it out. educatingwildflowers@gmail.com, and leave me a comment down below too, and then that'll help me reach out to you, or let me know to look for your email, which I check every day. But again, it would be fantastic if you think that's a good idea. Give this video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and comment down below. Just let people know your support, because I think from my own experience, having support in what I'm doing is the biggest fuel to my fire right now too, because like I'm doing it for my kids. Like I had passion going into this, but then to know that this is really positively affecting other people's lives, like our choice and our decision to do this is really giving other people momentum. I mean, let's do it. There's a reason why Kirk Cameron called it the homeschool revolution. It's because it is. And that's exciting, super exciting. So that was a huge, huge thing in my last week. Another huge thing that happened this last week was my oldest daughter, Fiona, had major oral surgery on Tuesday. She had to go to a local hospital and get put to sleep in order to have her oral surgery, because she had 2 teeth fused together to get taken out on the bottom. That was fine. They could have done that at the dentist's office, but because she was having to have this other surgery, they just did it all at the same time, which was wonderful. She has 2 extra teeth in her mouth. Well, she had 2 extra teeth in her mouth. And if you have extra teeth, it's typically, not typically, it is hereditary, and that comes from my side of the family. I had extra teeth in my mouth. I asked my aunt, who was like a mom to me, and she said she remembers me having a bunch of teeth removed, but she doesn't know for sure how many. She wants to say 3 or 4. And so I had a bunch of teeth problems. And getting my teeth removed isn't something that I remember, because like I remember getting a bunch of teeth removed. 1, I have a small mouth, so I had to remove teeth in order for all the teeth to fit in my mouth. 2, I had extra teeth, so they had to remove the extra teeth. And 3, when I had my own major oral surgery as a kid, I had a whole set of molars that were that had to get removed because before my mother passed away and I moved in with my family and guardians, I had such decay in my molars, it went down to my nerves. So I had exposed nerves in my teeth and in my molars, and it was so painful. I mean, I would just put my head down between my legs sobbing, just hoping that some of the pressure would take away the pain, or gel, all those things. Like it would only work to a certain point because it was exposed nerves from the decay being so far down, and it just was awful. So when I had my oral surgery, like it was just such a relief that when I was talking to my daughter about what to expect, like I was open and honest with her. Like my surgery was such a relief from the pain that I had been having. Yes, I've had the surgery of having like a whole set of molars removed, and I remember being put down in anesthesia and being put to sleep for it, but it was such a relief afterwards that the pain that I would have felt would not have compared to the pain that I had beforehand, so she had that, and it did bring her comfort knowing that I had these extra teeth removed when I was a child, that I had this molars and I had major oral surgery. That brought her a lot of relief, and my ability to empathize for her. And she did amazing. She asked such great questions. We have taught her to question everything, and I never realized like how far our telling her to question everything, even somebody in a position of authority, until she is there getting her IV in, and she hates needles. And she is like, well, why do you have to do that? Where are you putting that? How much are you putting in? How long do I have to have this for? Exactly why is this necessary? Tell me what you're doing next. Don't do it before you explain it to me. As her mother, I was just like, yes, you go girl. And she gained the respect of all of the nurses and doctors around because she was highly intelligent, highly analytical, and she stuck up for herself. She wasn't just going to lay down and be like, whatever, no. She was scared, but she really learned what it was to be brave, because I said, you're so brave. And she goes, no, I'm not, Mom, I'm scared. And I said, well, bravery is being scared and doing it anyway, sucking it up and doing it anyway. And that's bravery. And so it was huge. And she did so well. And she has recovered really, 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 really well. Her swelling is down. She's doing her mouthwash. She's doing all the things. So that took us down for a couple of days. And wow, I'm just so proud of her. She did so great. And so that was a huge part of our week. And then let's see what else. I started to print all of my papers. So for my curriculum for the kids, I'm doing the Good and the Beautiful. I think it's a great place to start. And they have free PDF downloads for all of their curriculum that we are going to be doing, kindergarten and 4th grade. And then we are going to be doing marine biology as science. So I was able to get all of these free downloaded. All I have to do is print them and then bind them. And I had bought a really nice printer, which I knew that I wanted for homeschool for all the things, because I want to do some really cool art stuff with the kids too. And so this printer was a Mamba Jamba. I am able to double-side print in color. It prints quickly. It's rad. It is the, I'll link down below what it is. It's some Epson EcoTank 4000 something. And I think it's like 4760 is what I want to say it is. Anyway, I had bought a 24-pound weight paper from Walmart, 500 pages of this 24-pound bright paper, and I wanted to test it out before I bought more of it. So I tested it out yesterday, which was Saturday the 19th, and I first printed out Jules's handwriting packet because that had the least amount of papers. First, I did 6 pages, and I got to see if I liked how it looked on front and back, if it was going to be too transparent or not. And I liked how it looked. So after doing my 6-page test, front and back with full color, I went ahead and did our handbook, which double-sided was about 60, let's just say 65 pages approximately. And I was really happy with the quality of it. So then I continued. I printed out Jules's handwriting book. I printed out her math book. And then I printed out Fiona's U.S. Constitution and Government History book, which was approximately like 110 pages front and back. So like 220 pages, single page, 110 pages, approximately double-sided. Lots of ink. And then I also did the marine biology, and I did her handwriting packet as well. And at that point, I'm out of paper. So I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. Like I'm just going to go ahead and do a Walmart order, and then I'll go ahead and get a couple of them, and then I can print out the rest today, Sunday. And it's there, everything. And then I go to do my Walmart pickup order, and it's substituted. So now I'm at a I'm at a standstill because I like this paper. It's $9.94 for 500 pages, but from what I saw on Amazon, I thought this was the best value. So I don't need it super thick. I just need it thick enough to where I can have both sides of the page. So anyway, so now I have to find this paper, or I have to wait until I get more of this paper in to continue printing. But I can do my hole punches, and I can put what I have together, and I'm going to be making a video to put up on my channel about how, this whole process of taking, the free Good and the Beautiful and making your own books at home. And like I said, I'm paying them back by doing a lot of marketing on all of my social media pages for them. I don't feel like people value that enough. Like when you are talking about another company on your channel or your Instagram for free, like you are marketing their brand, their company for them for free. That's why like PR and makeup was such a big deal, because people would give tons of people makeup for free who had a social influence, and then they would do it on their channel or they would get paid to be a social media influencer by these makeup brands on their channel. They would get paid a lot of money because they're influencing thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions of people to go buy their product. So they don't know. I mean, the Good and the Beautiful don't know me. I mean, I've tagged them and stuff like that, and I would love to develop a relationship with them. But for right now, I'm shouting off their company for free. So thank you, the Good and the Beautiful, for making your products free to me to use. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to try it. I talk in my Amazon haul. That's a video that I uploaded last week. I'll link it down below. And I talk about how, a lot of moms I see on YouTube so far, again, I don't know what state they're in. Some of them, I don't want to generalize here, some of them seem to go a little crazy in a good way on their curriculum. And me being a newcomer, I am choosing not to do that. I'm choosing not to stress out about the curriculum at this point. The Good and the Beautiful has come, highly recommended. And I supplement curriculum so much that I'm not stressed out about it because this is our base, and I am looking forward to adding on to it as the year progresses in an organically natural way that is conducive to my teaching and my children's learning. And so we'll figure that out as we go. And I'm not stressed out about it. I feel pretty good and confident about it because, again, we're all learning as we go, and we do a lot of learning anyway. I don't really know how to transition from there. You can probably tell by the inflections of my voice. But anyway, I feel like I have spoken about a lot of the stuff that I wanted to. I'm sure I'll think about a couple things when I get off of this, but I'm running out of time with my kids as well. So it's been a fantastic week. It's been a really good, productive week. We have some videos that my kids and I are going to be doing today, and I will be discussing in the next podcast, but we're going to be doing, we finished The Chocolate Touch. It's a book, but I don't remember the author, but I will give you more details in the next podcast, and just be on the lookout for that. It's going to be something great. So The Chocolate Touch is a book that I read to both my kids this past week, and they both thoroughly enjoyed it. So we are going to be reviewing it, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they do a book review, or talk about their thoughts on camera about a book that I read them, that we all enjoyed immensely. If you have read The Chocolate Touch, leave me a comment down below, and I will also, when I upload the video, I'll link that video down below too when we upload a review for The Chocolate Touch. But it's been a really good week. It's been a lot of positives. Things have been going better than I could have hoped for. And yeah, I'm just really, really grateful. It's been great. And, when it's really great, you just got to say, thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for a great week, because life is, goes ups and downs, and right now it's an up, and I am loving it. So I hope you guys have all been doing great. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Again, if you would like to be on my podcast, please, let's get into connection with each other, because, we have an influence. Let's make an impact, and I would love to hear from multiple families across the U.S. And if you would like to be a part of that, please let me know down below, and we will figure this out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, because there's so many different videos being uploaded all the time. I don't want you to miss mine. And I very much appreciate you listening, and I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day today, and I hope you have a wonderful week coming up. See you in the next video. Bye.